guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to do part 2 of my Buy More, Save More book outlet sale. So stay tuned. So if you saw part 1 of this haul, you know that I got 3 gigantic boxes. And so part 1 I did the first big box, and now I have the second big box. And I also wanted to get to this one because it got a big old bang in the corner, so I want to make sure that all of these are okay. Let's open this baby up. So we've got some paper. See if I can find my receipt. Okay, I found my receipt. Okay, so the first book in my box is The Hate List by Jennifer Brown. And let me look at this. So this wasn't a scratch and dent, but it is a little damaged. But it doesn't seem like it's terribly damaged. There's a couple of pages, it looks like just 2, that have like just a little kind of tear here, just on the edge. And in the back there's like, it's been poked and it dents some of the pages. Let's see if I can show you. Some of the pages are dented like this and this, but it's not like it's unreadable, so it's okay. Plus I got this for $4.29, and I'm opening it a little late to really be able to complain about it at this point. So let me just tell you about this book. It says, "The list was my idea. I didn't mean for anyone to die. Will you ever forgive me? 5 months ago, Valerie Lefman's boyfriend, Nick, opened fire on their school cafeteria. Val was as shocked as everyone else, but despite her own serious injury, she's implicated in the crime because of the list. The list she and Nick made of people they hated. The list Nick used to pick his targets. Now, after a summer of seclusion, Val is forced to confront her guilt as she returns to school to complete her senior year. Haunted by the memory of the boyfriend she still loves and navigating rocky relationships with her family, her former friends, and the girl whose life she saved, Val must come to grips with the tragedy that took place and her role in it in order to make amends and move on with her life." And this has bonus content in this book as well. It says includes Say Something, a hate list novella by Jennifer Brown. And I know that this is like on a lot of like summer reading lists, and it's supposed to be like really, really good. And as I said before, it was $4.29. Okay, so the next book in my box is The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. And honestly, until just recently, I had no idea that this was a book. I remember watching this movie as a kid and loving it, and have loved it growing up. And I just thought it was such a beautiful and mystical and magical and frightening movie, and I just loved it. And it's about this unicorn who is trying to find others of her kind, and there's others that want to use her because she is the last of her kind. She is the last unicorn. And oh, I love this movie so much, and I can't wait to relive it in book form. So this book was $6.39. Okay, next up is Flicker and Burn, a Cold Fury novel by T.M. Gogling. And I actually have Cold Fury right here. And this is the second book in this trilogy, I believe it is. And let me tell you about Cold Fury. Sarah Jane Rispoli has just turned sweet 16, but so far it's anything but sweet. She'd planned to spend this birthday at the spring dance with the handsome Max Kissberg, not being chased and attacked by a masked assassin, dirty cops, and a turncoat uncle. She certainly didn't plan on discovering that her family is deeply embedded in the Chicago outfit, aka the mob, or to come home and find them gone. Now on the run but determined to find her family, Sarah Jane fights back with the flame burning in her gut, a deadly cold fury. Though also armed with a .45 and a briefcase full of cash, an old tattered notebook may be her best defense. It holds the key to ultimate power. It's why she's being pursued. It's why her family was taken away, and it could be the key to saving her life. Action-packed with fresh cinematic writing, Cold Fury is a riveting and imaginative adventure announcing a compelling new voice in YA. And I thought this sounded really good. And this is a book that I got at Ollie's, which is like a salvage store, overstock kind of store. And I paid like $1.99 for this. And I happened to see that this was on Book Outlet, so I got it. And this was only 99 cents on Book Outlet. Okay, so next up is This Mortal Coil by Emily Savada. And I've heard a lot of good things, and I've heard some not so good things about this. There's kind of mixed reviews. And I don't know, to me it sounded like it would be really good. So they're living in a world where you can alter your DNA and make yourself look any way you want. And I mean, I think that sounds awesome. But then there's this plague that is just wiping out humanity. And our main character, Kat, her father is working on trying to come up with a vaccine to cure this plague. And then this shady organization kidnaps him. 2 years later, a soldier shows up telling her that her father's been killed, but he created a vaccine and he needs her help to release it into the world. And she's not sure if this is just another lie from this organization and her father was never actually caught or whatever, or if this soldier is telling the truth. And that's what this is all about. And this was $6.39. Okay, next up is All in Pieces by Suzanne Young. And she's the author of the program series, which I have that whole series as well. And except for I think there's one more book coming out soon. But anyway, so I think this kind of falls under the same category of like mental health and a rehabilitation center type place. This says, anger management issues. That's how they classified Savannah Sutton after she stuck a pencil in her ex-boyfriend's hand because he mocked her little brother Evan for being disabled. That's why they sent her to Brooks Academy, an alternative high school that's used as a temporary detention center. The days at Brooks are miserable, but at home, life is far more bleak. Savvy's struggling to take care of her brother since her mom left years ago, and her alcoholic dad can't be bothered. Life with Evan is a constant challenge, but he's also the most important person in the world to Savvy. Then there's Cameron, a new student at Brooks with issues of his own, a guy from a perfect family that Savvy thought only existed on TV. Cameron seems determined to break through every one of the walls Savvy's built around herself, except if she lets herself trust him, it can make everything she's worked so hard for fall apart in an instant. And with her aunt seeking custody of her brother and her ex-boyfriend seeking revenge, Savvy's fighting to hold all the pieces together, but she's not sure how much tighter she can be pulled before she breaks completely. And I thought it sounded really interesting. But then again, I thought all of these sounded really interesting. So, and this was $3.79. Okay, next up is Confessions of a Triple Shot Betty by Jody Gehrman. So this is about a girl named Gina who plans on spending the summer working at Triple Shot Betty's, which is a coffee shop, with her best friend Amber and her cousin Hero. But then when Hero and Amber meet each other, they like instantly hate each other and the claws come out and it's just bickering and fighting, and Gina's just like, okay, this summer's gonna suck. And then throw in a bunch of hot guys and mistaken identities, hijinks ensue, and not everything is quite what it seems. and you have this cute little book. And this was 99 cents. Okay, next up is Alice by Christina Henry. And as you guys know, I love a good retelling, and I saw this and I knew instantly this was an Alice in Wonderland retelling, so I had to get it. And it says, a mind-bending new novel inspired by the twisted and wondrous works of Lewis Carroll. In a warren of crumbling buildings and desperate people called the Old City stands a hospital with cinder block walls that echo the screams of the poor souls inside. In the hospital, there is a woman. Her hair, once blonde, hangs in tangles down her back. She doesn't remember why she's in such a terrible place. Just a tea party long ago, and long ears, and blood. Then, one night, a fire at the hospital gives the woman a chance to escape. She tumbles out of the hole that imprisoned her, leaving her free to uncover the truth about what happened to her all those years ago. Only something else has escaped with her. Something dark. Something powerful. And to find the truth, she will have to track this beast to the very heart of the old city where the rabbit waits for his Alice. And there are a few blurbs that say, a unique spin on a classic and one wild ride. A dark and delightfully disturbing fall down a rabbit hole of madness and mystery. A twisted take on the classic. And, oh, I just got so excited. So this was $5.39. Okay, next up, I have the first two books in the Shade Me series by Jennifer Brown. We have Shade Me and Dare You. And the third book in this series actually just came out this year in February, I believe, and it's called Break Us. So I'll just tell you about this first book. Nikki Kill does not see the world like everyone else. In her eyes, happiness is pink, sadness is a mixture of brown and green, and lies are gray. Thanks to a phenomenon called synesthesia, Nikki's senses overlap in a way that both comforts and overwhelms her. Always an outsider, just 1D shy of flunking out, Nikki's on the fast track to nowhere until the night a mysterious call lights her phone up bright orange, the color of emergencies. It's the local hospital. They need Nikki to identify a Jane Doe who is barely hanging on to life after a horrible accident. The victim is Peyton Hollis, a popular girl from Nikki's school who Nikki hardly knows. One thing is clear. Someone wants Peyton dead. But why? And why was Nikki's cell the only number in Peyton's phone? As she tries to decipher the strange kaleidoscope of clues, Nikki finds herself thrust into the dark, glittering world of the ultra-rich Hollis family and drawn toward Peyton's handsome, ne'er-do-well older brother, Drew. While Nikki's colors seem to help her unravel the puzzle, what she can't see is that she may be falling into a trap. The only truth she can be sure of is that death is a deep, pulsing crimson. Shade Me is award-winning author Jennifer Brown's first book in a thrilling suspense series about Nikki Kill. And I thought that sounded really, really cool. And I find the whole synesthesia thing so interesting. It's hard to imagine what that's actually like. And I'm hoping that this gives me an idea of what it is they actually see. You know what I mean? So Shade Me is $3.79. Dare You was $4.29. Okay, so next up is Red Velvet Crush by Christina Meredith. And this is about a girl named Teddy Lee who has never really wanted to be in the spotlight. She's just wanted to write music and play her dad's guitar, where her younger sister Billy is just gorgeous and everybody can't help but stare at her, and she loves being the center of the spotlight, and Teddy's okay with that. But then one day Teddy gets the opportunity to start her own band, and suddenly Teddy has everything she ever wanted: the band, the stage, the irresistible drummer, and a chance to share her music with the world. And then Billy gets involved, and that's what this is about. So this was 99 cents. Okay, so the next book is Apocalypse Bow Wow by James Proimos III and illustrated by James Proimos Jr. And this book is a cute little graphic novel kind of thing for Xander, and it's about all of the humans on Earth have suddenly disappeared, and the dogs have to figure out how to fend for themselves, and can they like assemble all the canines and create a new society or something like that. And this was 99 cents. Okay, next up is another Suzanne Young book, and this is Hotel for the Lost. And it says here, stay tonight, stay forever. And this says, Audrey and her family only plan to stay one night at the Grand Hotel Ruby. But life in the Ruby can be intoxicating, extending their stay as it provides endless distractions, including handsome guest Elias Lang, who sends Audrey's pulse racing. However, the hotel proves to be as strange as it is beautiful. Nightly fancy affairs in the ballroom are invitation only, and Audrey seems to be the one guest who doesn't have an invite. Instead, she joins the hotel staff on the rooftop, catching whispers about the hotel's dark past. The more Audrey learns about the new people she's met, the more her curiosity grows. She's torn in different directions: the pull of her past with its overwhelming loss, the promise of a future that holds little joy, and an in-between life in a place that is so much more than it seems. Welcome to the Ruby. And I thought that sounded really, really good. Sounds like an exciting read. And this was $2.54. Okay, so next up is the first two books in the Need So Beautiful series by Suzanne Young. So we have A Need So Beautiful and A Want So Wicked. So I'll just tell you about A Need So Beautiful. We all want to be remembered. Charlotte's destiny is to be forgotten. Charlotte's best friend thinks Charlotte might be a psychic. Her boyfriend thinks she's cheating on him. But Charlotte knows what's really wrong. She's one of the forgotten, a kind of angel on earth who feels the need, a powerful, uncontrollable draw to help someone, usually a stranger. But Charlotte never wanted this responsibility, and as the need grows stronger, it begins to take a dangerous toll on her. And who she is, her very existence, is in jeopardy of disappearing completely. Charlotte will be forced to choose. Should she embrace her fate as a forgotten, a fate that promises to rip her from the lives of those she loves forever, or is she willing to fight against her destiny, no matter how dark the consequences? And I thought this sounded really good. So this was $3.19, and this was $5.39. Okay, so next up is Lost Boy by Christina Henry. And this is the same person that wrote Alice, and this is obviously a Captain Hook, Peter Pan retelling. And this says the true story of Captain Hook. All children except one grow up. And it says, from the national best-selling author of Alice comes a familiar story with a dark root. A tale about Peter Pan and the friend who became his nemesis. A nemesis who may not be the black-hearted villain Peter says he is. There is one version of my story that everyone knows. And then there is the truth. This is how it happened. How I went from being Peter Pan's first and favorite lost boy to his greatest enemy. Peter brought me to his island because there were no rules and no grown-ups to make us mind. He brought boys from the other place to join in the fun. But Peter's idea of fun is sharper than a pirate's sword, because it's never been all fun and games on the island. Our neighbors are pirates and monsters. Our toys are knife and stick and rock, the kinds of playthings that bite. Peter promised we would all be young and happy forever. Peter lies. And again, oh, these retellings make me so excited. And ooh, the blurbs on the back here, one says, a novel that reads like a Jacobean revenge drama crossed with a slasher movie. And another says, a unique spin on a classic and one wild ride. And I'm just so excited about this. Okay, so the next book here is Apocalypse Miaow, which is, I think, the second book in this little graphic novel here. And our little doggy friends meet up with the cats that are left behind. And this book was 99 cents. Okay, next up is Fixing Delilah by Sarah Ochler. And this says, things in Delilah Hannaford's life have a tendency to fall apart. She used to be a good student, but she can't seem to keep it together anymore. Her boyfriend isn't much of a boyfriend, and her mother refuses to discuss the fight that divided their family 8 years ago. Falling apart, it seems, is a Hannaford tradition. Over a summer of new friendships, unexpected romance, and moments that test the complex bonds between mothers and daughters, Delilah must face her family's painful past. Can even her most shattered relationships be pieced back together again? Sarah Ochler delivers a powerful story rich with emotion and filled with family, love, and self-discovery. One of the blurbs says, will satisfy fans of Sarah Dessen, and another says, Delilah is one of the more realistic adolescent girls in contemporary fiction. She tells her own story in a lyrical and authentic voice. And this seemed like a good summer kind of read. And this was only 59 cents. Okay, so the next 3 books here are from the Broken Hearts and Revenge series by Katie Finn. So we have Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend. Revenge, Ice Cream, and Other Things Best Served Cold. And Hearts, Fingers, and Other Things to Cross. And really, these covers sold me. They just looked so stinking cute and definitely like good summery kind of reads. So let me read you about the first one. So this is Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend. It says, hot sun, blue waves, new romances, old secrets. Gemma had her summer all planned out, but it takes a sharp turn when she gets dumped and finds herself back in the Hamptons after a 5-year absence. Being there puts her at risk of bumping into Haley, her former best friend. That is, before Gemma ruined her life. But people don't hold grudges forever, do they? Gemma intends on making amends, but a small case of mistaken identity causes the people she knew years ago, including Haley and her dreamy brother Josh, to believe she's someone else, as though the summer wasn't complicated enough already. Filled with summer sun, boys, and friendships gone sour, Katie Finn's first novel in the Broken Hearts and Revenge series sizzles and delights. And they just sounded super cute, super light and fluffy, and I mean, these covers are just so stinking cute. This one was $3.19. This one was $4.29, and this one was $6.99. Okay, so the last book in the box is Do Not Disturb by A.R. Torr. And when I saw this, my first thought was, that reminds me of the cover from The Girl in 6E, which I've heard so many people talk about, like Kayla over at Books and Lala, and it sounded like such a good book. And this cover made me think of that. And then I learned that this is actually the second book in that series, and The Girl in 6E is the first book. So I thought I would go ahead and get this because I would really like to read the other one as well. And I saw this one on Book Outlet. But I can tell you, I'll pull up on Goodreads what it says about The Girl in 6E. It says, I haven't touched a human in 3 years. That seems like it would be a difficult task, but it's not. Not anymore, thanks to the internet. I am quite possibly the most popular recluse ever. Not many shut-ins have a 200-member fan club, a bank account in the 7-figure range, and hundreds of men lining up to pay for undivided attention. They get satisfaction, I get a distraction. Their secret desires are nothing compared to why I hide. My lust for blood, my love of death. Taking their money is easy. Keeping all these secrets, one is bound to escape. What if you hid yourself away because all you could think of was killing? And what if one girl's life's depending on you venturing into society? Enter a world of lies, thrills, fears, and all desires in this original thriller from A.R. Torre. And I thought it sounded really interesting, and so I really want to read that book, so I got this one so that I would have it whenever I got the other one too. And this one was $4.79. So let me sum up the order here. So I got 21 books. My subtotal was $75.64. So with the buy more, save more sale, if you spent $75 or more, you would get $20 off. So because I spent 64 cents over the $75 limit, I got $20 off. So that brought me down to $55.64. And then I had $20 in rewards, which brought me down to $35.64. So I got all 21 books for $35.64. Oh yeah. So that's about an average of $1.70 a book. Yeah. So have you read any of these books? Do you like them? Did you not like them? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time.